look around you for a second. The clothes you've got on, maybe the sofa you're on, the curtains. There's fabric everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
But have you ever, really thought about how it gets made? That journey from just a thread to, well, the textile itself.
Quite a story, often unseen.
Exactly. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain. We're doing a deep dive into the kind of hidden world of looms, these amazing devices that make all that fabric possible.
Yeah, and it sounds simple, maybe a loom, but it's this foundational device, really, a machine that goes back millennia, used to create woven fabric.
Millennia, wow.
Oh, yeah. Interlacing thread seems straightforward, but the history is just so rich, and its impact, I mean, huge, on everything from ancient crafts to modern industry.
Okay.
So our mission today, I guess, is to really understand the differences, the nuances between the traditional hand looms and the modern power looms.
Right.
Figure out why they matter,
Mm-hmm.
and importantly, get into the human stories woven into it all.
Absolutely. Because this isn't just about machines, is it? It's art, it's history.
Definitely.
It's about incredible human ingenuity and the impact these things have had, on communities all over the world.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, so let's unpack this a bit. When we talk about creating fabric, what's the absolute core principle? How does a loom actually do that?
Well, at its very heart, a loom works by interlacing two sets of threads. It's pretty ingenious, really.
Two sets?
Yeah. You've got the warp threads. They run lengthwise up and down the loom, and they're held tight under tension.
Okay, the warp, got it.
Then you have the weft threads. People often just call this the yarn. These are woven horizontally back and forth over and under the warp threads.
Ah, okay, like weaving a basket, almost, that kind of over-under.
Sort of, yeah. It's like this
Yeah.
really precise dance of lines crossing each other to build up the fabric.
Huh. But the yarn doesn't just magically appear ready, right?
Oh, definitely not. Before that weaving dance can even happen, the yarn itself goes on quite a journey. There are several steps. Opening the raw fiber, cleaning it, then processes like carding and combing to get all the fibers lined up.
Right, making it smooth.
Exactly. Then it's spun into thread, wound onto bobbins or cones, sometimes sized, which means strengthening it, and finally beamed, which is loading the warp threads onto the loom.
Wow, that's a lot of prep work.
It really is. It's a whole transformation before a single thread gets woven. And this whole idea of weaving, it's ancient, goes way back.
How ancient.
Well, think Maya civilization. They had a goddess, Excel,
Mm-hmm.
who was said to have taught women weaving. And we see evidence of looms evolving way back, like 4400 BC in ancient Egypt.
4400 BC.
Yeah. It's been around, constantly changing, always useful. That's why some call it the titan of all fabric creation. It's earned that title.
The Titan. I like that. And you mentioned evolution. There must have been key moments, key inventions. I read about something called the heddle.
Ah, the heddle. Yes, that
Wow.
was a game changer, a really critical advancement.
What did it do?
Initially, it was quite simple, a movable rod, basically. Its job was to lift specific warp threads, separating them from the others.
Oh, okay.
This created a little gap, an opening, called the shed, for the weft thread to pass through easily.
Ah, I see. So it saves lifting them one by one.
Exactly. Later, it evolved into systems using cords or even steel bands, letting weavers lift whole sets of warp threads at once.
That must have sped things up massively.
Hugely. And it didn't just make it faster, it allowed for much more complex patterns and weaves. A really pivotal invention.
So that direct link, the better the loom tech, the more intricate the fabrics we could make. It sounds like loom evolution is basically the story of fashion and textile evolution itself.
In many ways, yes.
Yeah.
It's what enabled us to turn, basic thread into this incredible variety of fabrics we have for clothes, for homes, for everything. It drove design, availability, everything forward.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, so we have this long history. When did things really split? You mentioned hand looms and power looms earlier. That feels like a major fork in the road.
It really was. And that's the main distinction we see in the industry today. You've got hand looms and you've got power looms.
Right. So hand looms first. What defines them?
Well, the name gives it away, mostly. Hand looms need zero electricity, no external power source. They're operated completely manually by the weaver.
Okay.
You often find them literally inside weavers' homes. They might be pit looms set into the ground or frame looms. They've been around since the 13th century.
13th century. Still going strong.
Absolutely. Now, compared to power looms, you might call them primitive, maybe, but they're incredibly effective and produce fabrics with really unique qualities. Still very much useful.
And the power looms. the other side of the coin.
Power looms are the modern evolution, you could say. They really started gaining traction during the Industrial Revolution, especially in the cotton industry in England.
Right, makes sense.
But their widespread use exploded when electricity became common, early 20th century. And modern industrial looms, they're incredibly fast.
How fast are we talking?
Some can manage up to 2,000 weft insertions. That's the weft thread going across per minute.
2,000 a minute? How?
They use electrical power, obviously,
Mm-hmm.
and the weft thread is shot across the warp using jets of pressurized water or air. Super high speed.
Wow. Water or air jets? That's completely different from a hand shuttle.
Totally different mechanism.
Yeah.
And that difference in how they're made, it leads to really noticeable differences in the fabric itself.
I bet. Can you, describe that? What's the difference to the touch?
Oh, definitely. Handloom fabrics, because the weaving isn't quite as tight, tend to be softer. They feel more resilient somehow, and they're much more breathable.
Breathable, okay.
Yeah, looser weave lets air through. They often feel a bit heavier too, maybe stronger with a nice natural drape.
And power looms.
Power looms pack the threads in much tighter, so the fabric tends to feel stiffer, maybe harder.
Right. More uniform.
Exactly. And interestingly, because those looms are so heavy and operate under high tension, they can actually compress the yarn, sometimes making the final fabric feel a bit thinner, less substantial, ironically.
Huh. That is interesting. Thinner, despite being tightly woven.
Yeah. And it's not just the feel. There are visual clues, too, quality differences.
Look what.
On a handloom fabric, if you look at the back, the reverse side is often a perfect mirror image of the front. It shows the weaver's skill,
Oh, okay.
With power loom fabrics, because of how the threads are cut and managed by the machine, you might see loose threads or ends on the reverse side. They can't integrate them quite as seamlessly.
So one looks perfectly finished front and back, the other maybe less so on the reverse?
Kind of. And, while power loom fabric might look, quote-unquote, flawless from a machine perspective, very uniform texture.
Yeah.
Some say it lacks a certain allure and creativity. Handloom fabrics, they might have tiny flaws, slight unevenness here, a little thread pull there.
Marks of being handmade.
Exactly. But those are seen as part of its uniqueness, its character. They speak to the intricacy, the finest quality achieved through serious artisan skill.
So it's that trade-off again. Mechanical perfection versus human artistry and character, imperfections and all.
Precisely.
That makes me think more about the artistry. You mentioned intricate patterns. Can power looms even get close to what a skilled hand weaver can do design-wise?
Honestly, no, they really can't match it. The level of detail, the sharpness, the sheer intricacy of designs that artisans create on hand looms, it's just on another level.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think about some traditional Persian patterns like ambi or amru. They have these incredibly delicate flowing motifs, really complex stuff.
Okay.
Trying to replicate that level of fine detail on a high-speed power loom, it just doesn't work. You lose the definition, the artistry. It really needs that human touch, that patience.
Wow. So some designs are only possible by hand.
Essentially, yes.
Yeah.
Especially those really intricate traditional ones.
And it's not just the visual design, right? You mentioned the feel before, that resilience, the breathability, because the weave is looser. The fabric actually breathes.
It really does. That's a key characteristic you feel when you wear it or use it. And that whole package, the unique feel, the artistry, the heritage, that's what some brands really focus on.
Like who?
Well, a good example is iTokri. Their whole mission is built around promoting Indian handicrafts and specifically handloom products. They want to uplift the artisans.
Okay, iTokri.
Yeah, they're based in Gwalior, started back in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
They were actually India's first craft store with what's called an integrated inventory model, basically ensuring authenticity and direct sourcing.
So they connect buyers directly with the crafts.
Pretty much. They offer a huge range, handloom, cotton shirts, beautiful saris, scarves, towels, all sorts of things connecting consumers like you and me with these amazing skills.
That's great. Which leads to a really important question. With all this incredible skill and cultural heritage wrapped up in handlooms, how do we protect it? How do we make sure these traditions survive?
That's where things like geographical indications, or GI tags, become incredibly important.
GI tags. Right. Explain those a bit.
Okay, so a GI tag is basically a sign used on products that have a specific geographical origin and possess qualities or reputation due to that origin. Think champagne from France, right?
Ah, okay. Like a guarantee of authenticity in place.
Exactly. And it's a powerful tool for protecting traditional crafts. The key insight here is how this legal thing, a GI tag, can take a local craft and turn it into this globally recognized, protected piece of heritage.
How does that help?
Well, it gives economic leverage to whole communities, prevents cheap copies or industrial imitations from diluting the brand, and assures consumers they're getting the real deal.
Makes sense. Is there official support for this?
Yes, definitely. In India, for example, the Ministry of Textiles actually provides financial help for getting handloom products registered under the Geographical Indications of Goods Act, which dates back to 1999.
Oh, good.
They've even set up special GI help desks at weavers' service centers to support weavers through the registration process and help promote these tagged products.
So it's working. Are products getting registered?
Oh, yes. The numbers show real progress. As of late 2019, there were 65 distinct handloom products and 6 specific product logos officially registered under the GI Act in India.
65 products. That's significant.
It is, and it covers such amazing diversity across the country. You really see the regional specialties protected.
Can you give a few examples?
Sure. You've got, say, Pupada Jamdani saris from Andhra Pradesh, known for their fine texture. Then there's the unique golden Muga silk of Assam.
Muga silk, right.
Chanderi saris from Madhya Pradesh, very light and sheer. Kanchipuram silk from Tamil Nadu, famous for its richness and durability. The iconic Banaras brocades and saris from Uttar Pradesh.
Banaras, of course.
And it's not just product types, but logos too. Like the specific logos for Mysore silk or Kulu shawls are also registered GIs.
So the tag protects the name, the origin, the quality, and ultimately the artisan's livelihoods and heritage.
Precisely. It's a really crucial layer of protection in the modern marketplace.
Okay, shifting gears slightly, but staying with the people. We've talked about the craft, the looms, the protection. What about the artisans themselves, particularly women? What's their role in all this?
That's a vital part of the story. Handicrafts overall are a massive sector in India, a major exporter employing over 7 million people.
7 million.
Yeah, and many of them are in rural areas, smaller towns. But here's the statistic that often gets overlooked. 56%, more than half of the people employed in India's handicraft sector are women.
56%, that's huge. So women are the majority workforce.
In many areas, yes.
Then why does it sometimes feel like, or why have we historically heard, that their contributions are well undervalued?
It's a really complex picture, tied up in historical gender roles and social structures. The sources we looked at point out that women's roles, even when essential, were often seen as supportive rather than primary.
Supportive? How so?
Well, take the handloom sector specifically. Often, the prep work, like spinning the yarn, was considered women's work. But the actual weaving, sometimes seen as the more skilled or primary role, was often reserved for men.
Ah, I see. A division of labor based on gender.
Exactly. And it often came with unequal pay. There's a really stark example from a report in Punjab, early 20th century. Women doing the same cotton ginning work, separating seeds from fiber, earned literally half what men earned.
Half. What was the justification?
The report mentioned justifications like women being physically weaker, less productive, and having the natural duties of household management to attend to. Classic arguments used to devalue women's labor, unfortunately.
Wow. Despite them being essential to the whole process.
Absolutely essential. And this historical undervaluation creates ongoing challenges today. A huge issue is how much of the handicraft sector is informal, undocumented.
How much?
Estimates suggest maybe 90% of what could be a massive 200 million strong artisan economy operates informally.
90%.
Yeah. And in that informal system, it's incredibly hard to track contributions, ensure fair wages, and women, especially, can end up doing vital work, but getting little or no direct payment for it. Their labor just gets absorbed into the household income, often controlled by men.
That's deeply unfair and invisible work, almost.
It can be, yes, leaving women vulnerable and without economic independence.
This really highlights the need for change. And it puts some power back in our hands as consumers, doesn't it? What can we actually do to support women artisans and push for fairer conditions? How do we become conscious consumers here?
That's the crucial question. And yes, our choices absolutely matter. What we see from the organizations succeeding here is that real empowerment seems to stand on 3 legs, providing safe, recognized places to work, ensuring women get paid directly, giving them financial control, and importantly, investing in skills training that breaks down those old gender roles.
Okay, safe spaces, direct pay, new skills. So how do we find businesses doing that?
You have to look actively. Research the brands you buy from. Do they talk openly about empowering women? Do they share stories or show pictures of the women making the products?
Look for transparency.
Exactly. Do they maybe highlight specific products made by women artisans? It takes a little effort, but asking these questions helps you direct your money towards genuine empowerment, not just marketing fluff.
Are there specific organizations we should know about, examples of this working well?
Oh, definitely. There's some fantastic examples out there really showing how it can be done. One is Women Weave.
Women weave.
Yeah, they're an NGO. They partner with brands like Sui. They focus on supporting really vulnerable women weavers in Meshwar, women who might be divorced, widowed, have disabilities, or are agricultural laborers with no other income.
So targeting those most in need.
Exactly. They provide safe places to work, guarantee livable wages, and even run programs teaching business skills.
Yeah.
They have this project called Gudi Mudikadi, which is really cool. It connects local cotton farmers directly with unemployed women in the area. These women then learn to hand spin and hand weave khadi textiles using natural dyes and water-saving techniques. It's holistic.
That sounds amazing. Linking agriculture, skills, and sustainable practice.
It is. Then there's Kaarigar Mandi. They make artisanal footwear.
Footwear. Okay.
Yeah, and it's traditionally a very male-dominated craft. Kaarigar Mandi works specifically to uplift marginalized artisans and create gender-neutral workspaces. They actively train women in the higher-paying skills of actual shoemaking.
Challenging the gender roles directly?
Right. And crucially, they make sure the women are paid directly, not through male family members. The impact. They've seen a 98% average increase in daily wages for their women artisans.
98%.
Incredible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Their goal is to grow their female workforce from 30% now to 50% in the next few years, and eventually up to 90% by 2035.
That's ambitious and brilliant.
One more, Kaarigar Crafts. Another NGO also works with Sui. They focus on ethical workspaces for both men and women weavers, promoting sustainable crafts in the Kutch region. They have lovely stories, like an artisan named Kanta Ben, who makes beautiful dolls from leftover fabric scraps, reducing waste, creating beauty, providing income.
It's so inspiring to hear about these initiatives. Women Weave, Kaarigar Mandi, Kaarigar Crafts.
Mm-hmm.
They really seem to be hitting those key points. Safety, direct pay, skills, sustainability.
They are. They show it's possible to build businesses that are both economically viable and truly empowering.
And it really drives home the point that supporting these artisans, especially women, isn't just for, International Women's Day or special occasions. It's an everyday choice we can make. It's about valuing the human story behind the product.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Wow. We've covered so much ground today, from the nuts and bolts of how looms actually work.
Yeah, the warp and weft.
To their incredible history, the importance of GI tags and protecting cultural heritage.
Crucial stuff.
And maybe most importantly, those powerful stories of human empowerment, especially for women, that are literally woven into these textiles.
It really brings a new appreciation, doesn't it? Understanding the depth of skill, the history, the human effort that goes into the fabrics we interact with constantly.
It absolutely does. So here's something to think about as we wrap up. Now that you know a bit more about the intricate craft, the history, the human stories, how does that change how you feel about, say, the shirt you're wearing or the blanket on your bed?
Does it feel different?
Yeah. And what simple choices, maybe informed by what we discussed today, can you make to support these amazing traditions and the artisans, men and women, who keep them alive, not just locally, but all around the world?